He wasn't on the list anymore, and he was just upset.
Shout out to Rams getting 2-2.
So we're both in Melbourne at the same time.
Let's go.
I'm gonna DJ.
Not really out of me calls. I didn't
Wow.
see the game.
It was pretty much everything we saw. What happened?
What's good, man? We'll have to be there. He's like, you have to be here in a week. There's a cutoff for like an
Hi guys, welcome back to the Reupload podcast. This is season 4 and this is episode 36. And today we're joined by a guest that he came on a while ago, and that podcast didn't end up staying up, but it is what it is.
Highly controversial.
Possibly. This is Hayden Thomlinson. What's up, man?
Good to be back. Good to be back.
Good to have you back. It's been too
A
long.
lot of changes since I was here last.
Mm.
A lot of development on the
So
channel.
look, we got. I hope everybody likes that. Something different.
It's impressive.
Couple new mics, couple new stands. So yeah.
New camera coming soon as well.
It is bloody fucking Kogan. So Kogan, get your shit together, please. But yeah, there's been a lot going on. What about you, man? What's been on the last?
Not much. I'm just working. Came back from Europe recently. Was there for a month. Basketball. Same old.
Oh, yeah. What about give me a couple like highlights of Europe.
Europe. I love London. That's my favorite
Great,
city,
eh?
man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, I loved it so much. Seeing the countryside of England was awesome as well.
Mhm.
Castles, things like that. Like things you don't have here.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you can go to any city and it's kind of similar to Sydney, but like the countryside and things like that, we just don't have. So,
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I love London so much. It's fucking great. I want to go back.
Yeah.
Was that your first time you've been to Europe as well?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I've been to the US heaps. My family's
Yeah.
from there, but yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, bro. That's
I
real
loved
cool.
it. Yeah.
And what okay, if you went back there, what would be like the first thing you would like take a friend or something to, like
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why's that? Well, I'm gonna imagine some reasons, but like
Yeah.
anything else?
No, it's fun. I'd like to go to like the coast of like the Amalfi Coast or something like that.
Yeah,
in
that's gonna be
summer.
great.
Yeah,
I've heard.
yeah.
So where did you go? So you went London, Amsterdam.
No, I didn't go to Amsterdam. That's what I'm saying. I would.
Oh, you wanted to go to? Oh, okay.
If I could go back.
Yeah,
that's where
yeah.
I would
Okay,
go.
yeah, I feel you.
But mainly just the UK.
Was the UK?
Yeah.
Go to like Wales or?
Yeah.
How's that?
Driving to Wales. Similar to the kind of the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but same old.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
And basketball. So we're actually playing up against each other. I wish I knew the date. I know it's around like 8 or 9. I want to say because I send it to you.
You don't want that.
No, but his team's like really good, and I'm no one can guard me on their team, but that's alright.
We'll see.
I've got better. Like, I actually have lost
Sure.
weight and shit. I can dunk now.
I know. She's looking a little lean.
Thank you, bro.
Looking lean. It's not going to stop us from beating St George by 60 points.
We probably will, but like
yeah.
maybe not. We'll see. Anyway, so that's for later.
Yeah.
We're here. It's for serious conversations. So as you guys know from last week, when I had Will on, we spoke about motivation, and that's, as I said, that's what these these podcasts can mainly be like from now on, because well, not just motivation, but like more serious conversations, and like if something, for example, comes up in the world, actually we can talk about that. We can talk about like if something big like comes to the world that's affected like the world, so maybe we can talk about like how that societal things. We can go on to that. That's gave me a great thought. So stuff like that will be spoken about.
Love it.
And so today's topic: how do you dream big? How do you dream big?
It's a big one.
It is a big one. I thought that's from someone like yourself. You got a lot of aspirations, and you just told me before about your degree you're studying at university, and which could be good. And,
Yeah, I feel like with that, it's such a broad concept. So you kind of break it down into little sub branches.
Absolutely.
With like a lot of things like that. So I feel like maybe we'll start by talking about dreaming big in terms of like, so you get like your personal life, obviously,
For
like
sure.
your self-development goals on how you want to be as a person and how you want to like be in general, and then you'd have goals for your work life, for your relationships.
Absolutely.
So yeah, what area would you like to start?
Oh mate, look at you taking over. I love it. Let's go straight up. Let's go. You mentioned just before about goals. So when you dream big, especially, let's focus on last year quickly and just talk about like what goals did you have for yourself and like how did you dream big and achieve those goals? and then the ones you didn't,
yeah,
how you gonna do them and focus on them and trying to get those goals this year?
I feel like last year was a bit of a down year for me in terms of like progressing
Mm-hmm.
in like every asset really.
Mm-hmm.
I think it comes down to having a actual plan of what you. I kind of was just autopilot, just going through the
Mhm.
motions.
Mm-hmm.
As I feel like when you like go from like high school and you're developing into like your early 20s and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's so different
Mhm.
that if
For
you're,
sure.
it's very easy to get caught up in just going day to day life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've kind of been in that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I had goals like I wanted to do certain things for basketball or go to the gym or study, and like I feel like a big issue I have is like procrastinating on those type of things or being really motivated for a few weeks.
And just not carrying forward with it. Yeah.
Or like something trips you up. Like you might for basketball last year I'd get sick,
Mm-hmm.
a cold or something like that, and it'd take me out for 2 days, but then it would take me out of the repetition.
Mm-hmm. For
And
sure.
then I just, used to fall out of that. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Nah, for you. And what about like, especially to be in U12 and stuff and having to, it's the biggest year in school.
Yeah.
And with that, you're studying and stuff, and with procrastination, did you feel like you could have performed better?
Like as much as an excuse as it's been, I feel like COVID did really like
Well, it did for sure. Yeah.
derail because of this. Like you've done 11 years of learning a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
and in your final 12 months or final 24 months, you're like your settings changed.
Mm-hmm.
You're not interacting socially. It's a huge demotivation for many people.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also where like that separates people that go on to achieve those things. That when environments change and settings change,
For sure.
you're able to carry through.
Mm-hmm.
That's where progress is made, I feel.
Mm. And do you feel like, especially going through COVID and stuff and having to change and, and adapt yourself, do you feel like you can go and pick out a certain thing and be like, yo, I've changed a lot in this aspect, for example?
I would say.
Or improved on?
So what have I improved on?
Yeah.
Because of COVID?
Yeah.
I would say that just general like. I feel like it gave me an appreciativeness for. I don't know if that's a word. Made me appreciate.
It sounds like a good word.
It made me appreciate how fickle things can be.
For sure.
So it kind of gives you that that awareness that you don't have as much time as you think you might. Well, things can get derailed so easily.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you told someone that it'd be a huge event that would shut everything down and your life would be derailed for however long that went on for,
Mm-hmm.
you probably wouldn't believe it. And so that's given me an appreciativeness for, like, I know I only have a set amount of time to achieve certain things now.
For sure.
And you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So
100%.
it's really important to take that on. I feel like so that's what I've learned.
No, there you go. That's works great with the topic, just like that, eh? And with what you're saying before with the procrastination and stuff, how are you gonna focus yourself and try and fix that? Well, not a problem because it's not a bad thing because everybody procrastinates to some point and overthink stuff, I guess, which can't be a bad thing. But if you do want to, you need to improve it, in some capacity.
Well,
how would you?
Anyway, so I'm transferring subjects to engineering and doing a double degree, but I'm not actually officially in the subject yet.
Okay,
so I'll give you a quick story in terms of. So the head of the faculty said, here are 3 subjects, engineering related subjects. If you pass these 3 subjects, I'll approve you into the course.
Okay.
So it's given me kind of a goal, maybe where I've kind of not had a goal for the last 12 months in terms of like studying anyway. It's given me a goal where like I have to, like I have a certain like achievable, like there's a number there. Whereas before I was like, if you haven't set an actual goal and you're just kind of going through the motions, it's hard to focus on things and actually lock down and study, or not procrastinate.
Yeah. There you go.
But now I know that, if I don't do this, then I won't get into what I want to do. So, yeah, it kind of defeats the procrastination because you have no one else to blame but yourself if you don't do it.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. That's good, man. And now moving on to like this year, like what are some goals you have this year that you want to tick?
Truthfully, I've procrastinated setting my goals. As much as I said I've learned. Yeah, no, I actually did want to be real specific this year with what I wanted to do, but off the top of my head, broadly speaking, I definitely want to get accepted into the degree. we can maybe talk about this a bit, but for sport related things, I've struggled with like knowing what I want to do out of it.
Yeah.
Like if I want to play socially,
Mm-hmm.
if I really want to lock down and like try and achieve something,
Mm-hmm.
if I even want to do like basketball, like I did all off season last year. I boxed, which
Yeah,
I
I
love
saw
very
that.
much. So it's kind of, I'm just in a bit of a limbo at the moment of deciding what I want to do. And I think that's another important part of goal setting. It's not just making a goal, it's really taking time to evaluate what's important to you
For sure.
and deciding, like, it's very easy to set a goal, but it might not be a goal that wakes you up every day and motivates you to achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why a lot of goals don't get achieved, is because
For sure.
that passion to actually achieve it isn't there.
Mm-hmm. You got to be like, especially basketball myself, you got to be like obsessed. I feel like it, like obsessed. And I saw the boxing and you doing that. So where did you mention? We did speak about it. Like I feel like a couple months ago you went into it, but like where did it come from?
I grew up actually doing martial arts before basketball.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I did jiu-jitsu for 10, 12 years.
Mad. That's sick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did choke me out. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
The last
On the
podcast.
undisclosed podcast.
Podcast.
It is still out there. It is a hard find. It's still out there. Yeah, so I did that for a really long time. And then when I was like 10, 11, 12, I started playing basketball. And then
Mm-hmm.
I kind of had to pick between those two.
Mm-hmm.
And I kickbox and stuff like that
Oh wow.
at that age. But when you're at that age, it's kind of like fighting isn't like an instinct that many 11, 12-year-olds
No,
carry with you.
For
you know?
sure.
And it's more fun to be socially interactive and play a game, like basketball with friends, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to worry about like retention of brain cells
Yeah, for sure.
from getting kicked to the face, or
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I made that choice, and then when the season finished, I really wanted to get back into it, especially with all the how exciting like the scene for martial arts has been over the last year,
Mm-hmm.
and how much it's like probably intruded into the mainstream more often,
For sure.
which motivate, like every time there's a UFC event on, I'm like or reinvigorated to train again.
Yeah.
Which I guess you could also, to tie it back to motivation, like not only being motivated when there's something like a external factor,
Mm-hmm.
like an event,
Mm-hmm.
like you might watch highlights of Stephen Curry playing basketball, and it might
Yeah.
motivate you to go shoot some hoops for a week.
For sure.
But it's about how do you continue doing that.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And what at the moment with basketball, do you feel like that's not all there, or?
Well, no, I love playing, but it's more so I feel like a lot of people will be able to relate to this, is that you hit an age where
Yeah.
you kind of got to be really realistic to what you want to achieve in life.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you want to do what you love, but at the same time you want to be, it's also important to me to be financially stable and,
Of course.
build a life that I want to live. And
Mm-hmm.
the way I looked at it is that you could, like, at someone at my level, you could probably grind, like I could drop everything, train every day, and I might make like a European team, like a Division 2, like something, not like a tiny team,
Mm-hmm.
or like an NBL1 spot. But you'd have to sacrifice a lot, and realistically, so say you play for 10 years, you're probably not going to get paid great in this small European like league. And,
Exactly.
by the time you're 35 and you're retired, you've got no qualifications.
You've got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you can coach basketball or something. Like, you still stay in the scene, but yeah, I feel like I want more out of that. I'm not sure, so that's kind of what I'm deciphering at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough.
I enjoy playing it, so as long as I'm still playing, I'm happy.
Yeah, there you go. And
Yeah.
and boxing, so like you got. So how did that come up? Obviously, you did all that,
Yeah.
but like getting back into it, is that something you felt like?
Yeah, it was more so like at the events, to be honest, like
Yeah.
watching, or like even like the influencer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like motivating to see how much it can, like, not just from the skill perspective, but how much it changes your life. Like
Yeah.
how everyone says, like, for example, like basketball can teach you so much about life. It's not just like any sport can.
For sure.
So training boxing, I was hoping to also instill that discipline. And
do you feel like you've learned
Yeah,
something
yeah.
from doing it?
well, yeah, I don't feel like I learned that from basketball though. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, you can be good at any asset, I feel like, of the game, but you've just got to put the work in to do it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, especially with sports like that, where you're the only one that matters. If there's no external factor, obviously with basketball, there's more external factors, but like as in like you put in the work is how much you can get better. You know what I mean? So do you feel like mentally, especially when doing boxing, it's like soothing?
Yeah, it's great expression of like have a shit day at work. And let that out today.
Yeah, of course.
And I feel like that's healthy. Like everyone has their thing. It's like I enjoy doing that. I like writing stuff sometimes. So everyone has their outlet, and I feel like I feel like that's a reason a lot of people play sports or like do these things is for an expression of just getting things out.
For sure.
Yeah.
There you go, mate.
How about you, mate? Any goals? What are you?
Oh, goals. Let's see. There's always goals, mate.
Well, same as for me. What was your last year, and how do you feel?
Okay, so last year especially, I changed a lot of them. So like the big one was, it's my first year at UTS, like being in person. So I wanted to do well, which I did. I did those. I could have done better, and with not doing better, I didn't get into the exchange program I wanted to get into. But there's a backup option, which hopefully I get into. But basketball-wise, I finally made reps after. Yeah. Well, my biggest goal was to be healthy for rep trials because I have not been healthy for a trial in, God, I can't remember, 3-4 years, if that. So I was healthy for once, and I proved it. I made the team, which is good, and that was the big one which I achieved. And the big goal was with this was to keep it growing and make sure I can I got out 34 episodes in a year. Well, maybe a little bit over, but from the end of 21 to the start was at when I started in 21 until the end when I finished in 22. I was pretty happy about that. And then the biggest thing, which I hope you realize with yourself as well, and hope everybody realizes, that I looked back on myself and I looked back on my work,
100%.
and I was like, you know what? I can do 10 times better, which, obviously, as I said, and I've mentioned, especially on this podcast, last week's episode, and I'll mention on this is a lot different. It's not going to be fair to everybody else, but I'm happy. I'm more happy doing this. It's more enjoyable for me.
You know what I mean? Get more out of it.
Exactly, and everyone will get more out of it. And, I want people to, I don't care about if something gets 1,000 views or something. If there's one that gets 1,000 views and there's one that gets, let's say, 200 views, I want the one that has 200 views to have people watching it for 10 minutes. Then let's say the one that has 1,000 views has people watching it for 1 minute.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah,
so
it's all about making an impact.
That's what I want the most at the moment, and then obviously it will grow and it'll grow. But I did goals wise. I had a good 2022.
You actually brought up a good point about then when you mentioned that you did 34 episodes in a year, and you feel like you achieved a goal there. I feel like just being consistent. And just showing up, even when you feel like, even if you feel like it's not working out, and you might for example, I might be playing basketball and have a few shit training sessions, and it might demotivate the hell out of you to to show up again, or you might feel inadequate, or not even just in sport, any facet
in life, of course.
You might feel inadequate because things aren't going your way, but just consistently showing up is important.
And how do you feel like? Do you feel like you're good with consistency, in life, and being motivated to continue to keep being there for that certain thing?
I feel like, as I spoke about before, there's different facets, and I feel like I'm stronger in consistency in certain facets than others. So I feel like in my work life or my relationship life, I feel like I'm pretty consistent. I always show up. Well, I try to show up. And that's, I feel like the most important thing is just being there. And
of course, it is.
Just people say, going to the gym, you might not want to go, but just show up is better than just not going, because you'll do something.
Exactly, for sure. That's something I need to get back on my gym shit. I'm hooping every day, 2 hours a day. We feel sick if I don't play every day.
I'm sick of looking like Chet Holmgren. So I need to head into the gym.
My biggest thing is that this is so bad because at my gym I go to ASA still. And if you guys didn't know, ASA has a basketball court and then has a gym upstairs, and I will go and play basketball, and then I'll make my biggest problem is I'll make an excuse to not do it. And now my excuse at the moment is I don't want to go lift because I haven't lifted so long. I know everything's going to hurt, and then it's going to affect me playing basketball.
100%. But it's just getting over that initial pain. That
of course.
I 100% agree. You're going to be sore for a few weeks.
Yeah, I know.
You're going to be sore for a few weeks, and it's not going to be enjoyable at all.
Yeah, I know.
But it's kind of just, as I said, showing up.
I'm about to get back into it the worst time, because now they're saying we've got pre-season trainings, games and shit showing up, and we're having 2 or 3 over the next month, and then maybe after that I'll get back. I feel like I want to get back into it before the season starts, because we're still 2 months away for pretty much all of us. But so be there March 18th for my first game, everybody.
So what are your goals for 23?
And then for 23, it's definitely my uni wise. I really want to go into this exchange program.
Where to?
Memphis is my number one option.
Memphis.
Yeah, so that could be interesting.
Yeah.
I want to go to a city that has, you know, an NBA team firstly.
Yeah.
Probably like it'd be great, but also has a good uni life. So like I got Memphis, I got LSU as an option, I got Butler. Who else I have? Oh my god, Kansas. There's a couple like big uni lives, but there was a couple there that have NBA teams. Like Butler's in Indiana, Indianapolis. So there's that option. So really, I would prefer that. That's like a big one that I have, but also like I want this to keep it going. I want people to like learn more from the podcast and actually like. I really enjoyed it, especially out this last one when I had so many messages saying, Sam, this is really good work. I had people I haven't spoken to in years who messaged me. I'm like this, a family friend of mine that I probably haven't spoken to 3, 4, 5 years. Messaged me saying, oh, Sam, loving the podcast. It was really good what you put out. Like just, and I don't need, you know, people's, I'm not like, I need someone's opinion.
Like validation.
I don't need the validation because like I know this is good work as it is. Good work because I'm happy with it. But also, you know, the feedback's great. And like hearing people, because I went from having ones where, you know, there's ones that are out there that have less than 20 views and no one cares about the retention shit. And like, I want people to like be, not even like love it. I just want people to be aware of it that like I'm putting up good stuff.
That was really important to me when I was choosing a like uni degree and stuff like that.
Was it?
Was having impact, like feeling that I'm contributing something of value.
And did you not
society.
feel? What'd you do last year?
I was doing politics, philosophy, and economics.
That's right.
So PPE,
I thought,
which is like a degree where you would consider like, I mean, you talk about societal
of course.
differences and you know the philosophy behind it. But out of that, I didn't feel like I'd have much of an impact. I don't know. I wasn't 100% sure that I wanted to do it, and I feel like.
Did you feel like it just wasn't you?
Well, I enjoyed it, but I didn't feel like there was enough options out of it, like not broad enough.
For sure.
I feel like I was kind of contained in a little area of opportunity outside of that. So.
And why do you feel engineering might be different?
Well, I feel like it's such a broad degree. Like there's so many facets of engineering. You could be a mechanical engineer, or you could be a biomedical engineer. Like there's so many. There's the
shout out to Ty for biomedical engineering.
Yeah. There's such a spectrum of opportunity. I'm also doubling it with arts.
Oh wow.
Is,
so wait, like what? So you do like a couple like art subjects as well, isn't it? Oh wow.
No, like the whole arts degree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so an arts degree, a double degree, arts and engineering.
Oh wow. Oh
so
my. Oh wow, that's gonna be tough as hell.
Yeah, I know. Which is why also with like basketball and stuff, it's kind of.
Yeah, I get you.
To bring it back to goals, it's
Yeah.
Finding a balance of like
sure.
what's achievable. Because you need to be realistic within yourself of like what can I actually maintain and still, you know, have a social life and, you know.
That's my biggest thing at the moment.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm so like weekends I'm keeping free, but you know, especially when basketball's on Saturday, I'm gonna be dead because you're gonna be playing. Or if the game's off, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm still like going and seeing my friends because now I'm like I'm training twice a week. I assume you have a similar schedule. Training twice a week, playing local comp somewhere, and then like I only have 2 other weekdays, and those 2 other weekdays is what? No, I have a Friday and then a Tuesday, and then. And then like Sundays like my fuck off, don't talk to me people day. Yeah. Leave me alone. And then so I feel like I have 3 days. What's that? Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. Are the only days I feel like I'm not. Well, and then once basketball starts, that Saturday's gone. So I feel like there's 2 days a week. It's from a month, 2 months from now. I feel like yeah, that's it. Which I know I'll make an effort and always do, but like. Especially with yourself, like I assume having a similar schedule, and then once you news back, it's even going to be crazier.
I have no idea what's going to be like.
And then with working as well, like how do you see yourself, and is there any factors that you've thought about that will help you manage the next 6 months, let's say?
I'm kind of going into it, like honestly, I haven't prepared myself as much as I probably should have. I'm kind of going into it blind. Like I know the workload's going to be a lot, but I don't know how much a lot actually is.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I know a lot.
I've heard.
But a lot isn't a tangible thing that I can just.
No, I feel you.
And you know we travel a lot for basketball. Like on the weekends, it's going to be all around New South Wales.
Fucking orange cunt. Fuck
yeah, I work most days. So it's going to be a change of lifestyle for sure because I took last semester off as well. So, I had a really lax as I said before, pretty lax last year. So I'm excited to kick into gear and like get things on the road. How do you feel? I know we've been talking about uni and sports and stuff, but
of course,
like internal as a person, like, and with the relationships between like family, intimate relationships. What do you feel like your goals for that are?
Well, it's definitely to like friends wise is keep like it's to my good friends is keep being a great friend and keep being a brother to my boys because like I know they're gonna treat me the same and because they support me as much as the biggest thing which I've realized a lot over the last couple of years is cutting out those yes men, cutting out those people that are just there for that they just try to validate you and hype you up. Like my friends just talk shit to me. I'm like so funny. We're playing in this social company. I'm playing with Jason and my mate Tiago and a couple other boys. And they just talk shit to me like Sam. They're like screaming from the side. Sam, you're a shit rep player. What are you doing? Yeah. It's like because they actually care, but they're gonna be the ones watching my games, cheering me on and stuff, for example. But that's the big thing is to keep growing my friends and keep having good relationships with them. Oh, Cameron's having a spaz. Love that. Yeah. And family-wise is, make sure I'm there. My family, make sure I leave, a couple of days out of the week where I can have good family time. And then with relationships, don't be more... I guess I'm respectful. I'm respectful to women. I have been, but, for relationship, then shit happen. But, just continue.
How about with yourself? Like, do you have any, how do you want to improve as a person?
Well, I just want to, especially, I don't think I even told you this, but I had a bad panic attack about a year and a half ago. I'll say maybe less than that, to be honest. And, it really fucked me because I had a lot of going on, and I always have something going on, but there was 1,000 thoughts in my brain, and I felt like I had a heart attack, because I just wouldn't stop beating. And it was crazy, and... and something I just want to keep having a clear mindset and making sure I am focused with what I want to do and then just be a good person. Keep having, being good to my friends, having time for myself because sometimes I don't stop. But have that reset if that's a couple of days a week where I have to go, sorry guys, I'm not coming out with you. Sorry guys, I'm not feeling the best, I'm tired, and just go have that time for myself because there's still a lot I don't do by myself, which,
How often, do you feel... what's your balance between time with yourself and hanging out with friends and social life?
It's still bad. It's bad because, I don't have a lot of time for it's yes and no because, to be honest, I don't... When I'm playing basketball now is just my thing. I don't... If I'm going to the gym, I'm not... Every once in a while I'll text a friend to be come down. Most of the time, no, leave it. And I won't talk to anybody else. I'll still talk to, people. I'll say hi and bye and that type of thing. But that's my hour, 2 hours a day. Where I'm just in my own thoughts, having my own thoughts. Like this morning, that's where all this idea of what this podcast is going to be at. Because I had a feeling eyes were going to come on, and I'm just on the gun shooting for I don't know, a couple hours, and that's when I feel like I'm processing stuff. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, for sure, it's just I need to. It's basketball is just my thing when I want to have a clear mindset and just want to. Well, it gets me in my thoughts and stuff, and that's why if something's upsetting me, I had some girl dramas a month ago, and the thing I did to clear my mind was to go straight to the gym and just go and then just clear my thoughts. And now I've got over it and stuff, but it took a while to go because I don't know. I feel like I had liked the idea of this girl too much, and then the feelings came and. And thank God that didn't end up happening because she just wasn't the person I thought she was. But, I won't get into that. But, yeah, it's a lot. Fuck me. Sorry, guys. I know it's on the camera today. It's having a spaz. But anyways.
Yeah, so...
what about yourself, though? Let's go into, what are goals for yourself? What do you have? We'll actually go into the relationships, friendships, and, so what about you, man? So what about, how do you see yourself, and... How do you feel like you're improving yourself, especially?
In all those facets?
Yeah, for sure.
In the relationship side, I feel like it's more just me. I've just got out of a relationship, and we're talking about friends before. You were talking about your friends before, and the goals you have with them. And the last year, I've kind of, I was in a relationship, so I kind of was just with that one person, and I wasn't... I kind of shut myself off from having other friends in general because I was spending so much time with that person, and the work that I was working in didn't really allow me to have the opportunities to meet new people, and I wasn't at university, so I've recently started a new job and I've got a group of people that are around the same age as me. We're pretty close. It's all I go hang out with them once or twice a week, But yeah, in terms of like relationships, it's more so, you know, me just wanting to be, not really wanting to have a relationship with anyone else. Like if whatever happens, happens. Like I'm not gonna run away from things, but I'm not looking for. I just don't know. I feel like at our age, like it's especially with in terms of me not knowing, like who even I am and what I want from life and things like that. How I don't know how I'm meant to share that with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably the more mature approach to take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And what about like especially within yourself? Like, what do you want to get out of this year? And what's something you would like want to improve on? And what's, you know, how do you feel like, you know, you can continue to grow?
I feel like as much as you set specific goals about like how you want to be as a person, I feel like as just like with the podcast you were saying, you might look back at yourself and that's a different time and a different person
For
than
sure.
I've developed. You kind of you have things happen in your life and you react to those experiences, and those experiences shape you into a new person, and without even knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
And like as you said, you had that event with a girl, and now you're gonna take the lessons you learned from that, and your personality will slightly shift to adjust to know if that situation happens again, this is how I would handle it differently. And so I feel like it's more so not identifying on a single thing that I need to focus on as a person. It's more so every time that a challenge or an issue arises in your life, dealing with that the correct way and taking lessons from those experiences.
Yeah, most definitely, for sure. And one thing that a couple of friends of me said this year was, and which I found it's a bit funny, but then you have a real thought about it.
Yeah.
Was having a villain arc, and what I mean by that. So this is my big villain arc here, and what I mean by that is, you know, you look at some villains, and like one I think of is like Homelander, for example.
Yeah.
And you know, you hear about like some of his monologues, for example, and he's like, he just doesn't give a fuck. Their villains just don't give a fuck. They want to achieve their thing.
Yeah.
And don't give a fuck who's in the way. Which obviously you don't want to go to that point and like kill people or something to get to something. But say your goal is to make a team.
Yeah.
You need to. They don't listen to outside hate. You know what I mean? They don't focus on anything else apart from hitting that goal.
Someone that really inspired me, I mean, before they turned anti-Semitic,
Yes, my brother.
was Mr. Yeezy.
Yes, he inspired me until he went anti-Semitic as well.
No, but growing up, I used to like watch YouTube videos about like his personality, and I used to think that I was so in awe of like how much he just did not give a fuck.
For sure.
And I mean, obviously that could be detrimental to an extent. Like,
Of course.
you don't want to be so much you don't give a fuck that you're just a dickhead and no one wants to hang around you, and just like even like with Kobe.
For sure.
He's someone that excluded himself from relationships and
Was an arsehole in some
yeah,
circumstances.
People thought he was an asshole, but I mean, I guess with Kanye as well, that's good. Like when you get to that level of greatness, I guess that's the kind of sacrifices you have to make.
I feel like the biggest thing with Kanye West, and especially it's coming from a Kanye. I love Kanye West as much as you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If not more.
Mm-hmm.
And something that I've realized a lot, and this isn't just for him. This is other people that, even with fame, you can't. You got to continue. I feel like you got to continue to treat yourself the same way, because I feel like he didn't. Like the more he got bigger and bigger and bigger, you know, he didn't. I feel like he didn't care for himself, and you know, and then he started saying stuff that, you know, he believed in, but he had no filter. And then you've always got to have obviously you should be who you are and true to yourself, but when you're talking about fucking killing Jews, for example, like, I don't want to get political or anything, but like,
I think
you know, it's just.
I think what it might be, like you've heard the saying, like if you get money or you get power, it just exemplifies who you are as a person.
Of course.
I don't think he was inherently a bad person
Not
to
at
begin
all.
with, but as I said to you before about how you go through experiences and then that shapes your personality.
Of course.
Moving forward, he would have had experiences when he started to become famous where he would say something that maybe was a bit outlandish or speak his mind, and no one would check him for it.
Of course.
And after no one checks him, that then shapes his personality and his experiences, because he's like, okay, moving forward, I'll say what the fuck I want because no one's going to stop me.
And this is why I love this topic thing, because everything comes back circle what we talked about from before. The yes men thing, for example. So you got to be surrounding yourself with good people.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not saying Kanye did or not. I'm not saying these celebrities who have these big falls do or not. But you look at Will Smith, for example, or someone like and I'm not saying you can't relate this back to like you know, his childhood or something happened, but he might have went and slapped Chris Rock in the face, but what made him think that was right in the first place? You know what I mean? And other controversies you see in the media and other types of things, but like it's all like from growing up and like what shapes you. You know what I mean? It's all about shaping you as a person. And your character is all shaped from your experiences, as you said before. So it's really interesting when you think about that in that perspective.
100%. Yeah, I think and that was identified a long time ago. Like J. Cole, who dropped "False Prophets," which is a Kanye song. Have you heard that one before?
No.
It's a song from like 6 years ago, and it's when Kanye. It's like when Kanye started saying like the slavery was a choice type stuff.
Yeah.
Around that time.
Yeah. Yes.
And just like saying how he's surrounded by people that, like, it's clear he's surrounded by people that just let him do what he wants because you don't no rational person would have any social life because no one would be around someone that says those type of things.
Of course.
Yeah.
You just gotta keep your circle. I'm not gonna say tight, but you gotta keep your circle on point and make sure they keep you on point. You know, you can't go because like you might say something. Everybody has a joke around the friends, and we all talk shit about something or something that's going on in the world. But like, you've got to know within yourself that you got to be right in what you're saying. You know what I mean?
I also think, as important as that is it's kind of an excuse for being a shitty person.
Of course.
So we're saying, oh, Kanye's a bad person because you got yes men around him, when you should be able to
identify yourself. Yeah,
like look in the mirror and be like, okay, this is my actions. Are these reasonable actions? And if you can't come to that conclusion, then that's something that you need to take care of yourself with, because that's such an easy way out to say, oh, he's surrounded by shitty people, so he's a shit person.
Of course.
Which does obviously impact it.
Of course.
But it's not the main. I don't feel like it's the main contributor.
My big thing is especially like when, you know, mental health is very important. Yeah. And I'm not, this statement, what I'm about to say is not talking about mental health, but if you have a mental health issue, that's not a good enough excuse to make you be an arsehole. Yeah. You know, there's obviously some points and some people can't control what they say, but Kanye West saying what he's saying, or for example, other people who've said what they've said, for example, it's not a good enough excuse to say, oh, it's mental health. Yeah. Because obviously, you know, mental health shit, and, you know, I've had my own experience with mental health. I'm sure you have, and everybody has on this planet. It seems like it, but mental health is no excuse for you to be a cunt.
Yeah, I agree.
So, that's just my opinion. Yeah. So nobody take that personally. It's not saying it. It's just no shots at anybody. It's just a thought. But it's true when you think about it. Like, you know, and I remember it was Pete Davidson said this on it was on SNL, and he did like the weekend update thing, and Kanye just came on and he was saying he was wearing the Make America Great Again hat, and Pete Davidson was like, what's going on? And he said, bring back the old Kanye West, the one that was on the drugs. Yeah. As in,
he's like, I'm off the meds.
I'm off the meds.
Well, maybe get back
on the meds. Exactly. Which, well, I know what he said meds wise. You know, like, I don't know. Especially in mental health, you've just got to make sure I think Kanye just never was okay within himself.
Especially after his Mullah. I mean, it's the same with everyone. Like you were saying before about Will Smith about slapping. Like, there's so many. That's something that I've realized this year, and that's something that I want to take better as a goal for myself. Is,
tell me.
I feel like I'm an empathetic person, but being more empathetic to people when they do act out, to not like excusing their actions, but trying to understand why they came to that action.
For sure.
So the word that I would use to describe that as perspective, and having the perspective to understand why someone's done something they've done, and maybe being a little more accepting of them, even if they do something that's like bad. Like, there's been so many instances this year, like strangely in the first month of this year, where I've not liked somebody, and I feel like they are lazy or they're doing the wrong things, and then I'll find out something that's happened to them, like in their life, like something horrendous, and I can be like, okay, so clearly this has led to this, and it's like a rabbit hole of because of this trauma they've experienced, which isn't an excuse. Like,
of course,
you can you can have a shitty upbringing and still not be a bad person.
Absolutely,
but it definitely increases your chances to being a bad person. You know what I mean?
Of course. You're 100% right.
So yeah, I do want to be more empathetic to people's like situations, not excusing them, but trying to understand.
Absolutely. Well, because everybody has their own story. You know, my mum actually said this to me the other day, funny enough. She's like, everybody has their own story. And you can't, that's what I want to, especially with this podcast, I want everybody to explain their story, because, you know, everybody makes their choices for who they are and what they've been brought up to and what they believe in. You know what I mean? And, you know, say if we have different thoughts on politics, or different thoughts on, I don't know, life or whatever, about mental health or whatever it is, should not change the fact if you're a good person or not, or should not change the fact if I'm going to like you or not. Like, I had a friend who said to me, a friend of mine said this to someone I was interested in, and said that he's right wing or something, which, you know, I vote for who I vote for. I'm not going into that, but it should not be. You should not have to go tell someone something about someone else just because you don't believe in that certain political issue or that idea or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because how do you know that person off something they might believe in? Say someone like Donald Trump, for example. Before going down their throat and be like, oh, fuck this guy likes Donald Trump, and I'm not saying I do or don't like Donald Trump. That's no one's. That's an opinion, and that's no one needs to know. Who gives a fuck? But why it shouldn't matter that I like that person unless I'm a dick. You know, if I'm a dick and I'm, you know, say I'm some.
The only thing I would say to push back on that is that
it's just you need to hear someone's full story.
Yeah. The other thing I would say, as a devil's advocate to that, is that
we need devil's advocates.
Is that sometimes your support for an ideal displays things about you.
For sure. No, most definitely.
Like this is an extreme, but say someone's like a racist, right? And I'm like, oh, he's a racist. I'm not gonna be like, oh, but he's still a good person.
No, of course.
Because that ideal represents him by him supporting it.
Absolutely.
So I can see, like, for Donald Trump, for example, obviously, like, that's your own opinion on what is, but some people could look at him as being like a negative deterrent to society, and like with like the storming of the Capitol, for example, which was a really big thing. Of course, it's horrible. Yeah, and people, like, he definitely did, like, he wasn't anti that. You know, he played whatever role he played in that, and I could see how someone could, not that I agree, but I could see how someone could look at someone that supports Trump, and it's like his ideals may stand for negative things in society. For sure. So I'm not going to associate with you because I don't. Because you have those values, and if you support that person, so I'm not gonna. Exactly, and no, I think it's understandable. The most prevalent example of that would be Andrew Tate. Oh, it is. So his ideals, a lot of people disagree with, and a lot of people not like you because you like him. I can name many. Which I don't agree with Andrew Tate, but like, I mean, like, he's motivational and stuff. But I don't agree with the majority of his things. But I'm not gonna. But I would if someone wanted to stop talking to me because I was a huge Andrew Tate fanboy, I would understand it. Okay, I get what you mean. Like, I wouldn't like resent that person because I would understand. Okay, he said such and such, which makes you feel a certain way, which then I'm supporting indirectly by supporting him. I could see how you would not be happy with me. Yeah, okay, I understand that. Well, because I know, and I know a couple girls, not even a couple girls. I know 4 or 5 girls, for example, that. They went through people's Instagrams, and if they followed Andrew Tate, they'd be unfollowed straight away. What you've got to, as like, for example, I think like a few months ago I would agree with you. That's like, why would you do that? Yeah. But you've got to understand from the perspective of. You're right. From the perspective of, like, if you were a female, right? So the philosophy I have on Andrew Tate is that I do think he's like a little bit of a character, but I think that he intentionally says positive things that I can agree with to cover up the shitty things he says. So say he says something super fucking misogynistic. Yeah. But then he says something really profound about like how you need to live your life and something motivational. And then I say to you, he's a misogynist, but you're like, no, but he said this. And then it kind of like negates each other. But if I was a female and I'm hearing all these things about, which are oppressive in nature, like they shouldn't be able to do such and such, I would be hurt by that, and I wouldn't want to associate with anyone. Of course, and then say, for example, your boyfriend's watching that. Yeah, exactly. His ideals may progress onto that, and that would be something that I would, my thing on him, and then we'll get back more into ourselves, is that he's playing a character, firstly. I think to an extent, yeah. He is, and obviously there's going to be a lot of things that, you know, you
don't agree on, and he's just trying to. His biggest problem that, that the media and that the media was that he was a marketing genius, and that's how it kept getting pushed. He wasn't even pushing himself, but that's what the big hustlers university things, and he says some very motivational stuff that, if it's great if you've heard that, but there's too many negatives that he said.
There's some things that you just can't excuse. Like,
You
there's
can't
some things
excuse.
but they might be a joke, they might not be, but like they're like, oh.
It's just if you're looking to be motivated by someone, just don't look at Andrew Tate.
Yeah, if you want to be motivated, type in Andrew Tate motivation and TikTok, and you'll find some good videos.
Exactly.
But
But
unfortunately,
at the end of the day, he's in jail right now. I'm not saying I agree or don't agree with it, because I don't even know the full story why he's in there. But
I can see the value in why people enjoy watching him, but I also understand completely why people dislike him.
yeah, it's just the best opinion on him is just leave it, move on, look at someone else.
The argument I heard for it that I found was true.
Yeah.
Is that so obviously TikTok, something that we use is like 20s, early 20s, late teens, whatever.
For sure.
But it's probably more predominantly used by 14 to 16-year-old,
Yep.
like that age.
The lower
kids,
age.
like teenage kids in high school.
Yeah.
So if you're someone that is a young boy, and you may have you may not have any attitudes towards women yet, like you don't know anything about life yet.
Might not even know what women are or how to speak to them. Yeah.
So, exactly. But you're an Andrew Tate fan, and your ideals of women are shaped by Andrew Tate because that's your idol.
For sure.
And then women start getting, like, say a year 7 boy finds out about that, and then he just starts treating women like shit, and then that's his attitude towards women for the rest of his life, because that's what he's been shown. And so I feel like we're not going to see the effects of like this era of like the red pill community of Andrew Tate until 10 years from now.
Of course.
Where
until
those kids grow up.
And they're our age.
And exactly, and then they can actually like make proper decisions about life, and if they're negative towards women, then we can look back to this and be like, well, there was a large fucking period of time where we were saying heinous shit. So I feel like that's comes back to like perspective of like you might not have thought about that, but these are the type of things you need to think about when you're having these conversations.
Of course, that's why it needs to be talked about, like stuff like this, because like you just.
Because the argument I always hear is that he makes great, like, those motivational things, which I 100% agree with, they are. But I feel like the negative outweighs the positive. Like, largely.
It's a very good point. No, I agree, for sure.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of different opinions on him. Yeah. But, everybody has their own opinion, and I'm not going to hate you for who you like or not, or like you more because you like someone or not. Exactly, but that is what it is. But, moving on.
Yep.
But let's talk about my computer's not charging real quick. What the fuck? Oh, it's not on. Okay. I just had a good one as well. I just completely forgot. Here we go. So do you feel like, my brother asked me this last week, and it's a good question. Do you feel like the world revolves around a matrix? And this has nothing to do with Andrew Tate. It just happens to be on my mind.
Okay, well, I want you to break down to me what a matrix means.
So
give me what the parameters of what that is, and then I'll tell you if I think it is or not.
So a matrix, after speaking last week and learning more about it, because I didn't really know, I had an idea, but do you feel like, you're brought up to go to high school, to go to uni, to go do this, to go get married and do the things that, just within the culture is defined of what you're meant to do in this world. You know what I mean? Do you feel like you live your life within the matrix? For example, me, I feel like I'm not, because I want to do, because like, yes, there's certain things, there's aspects as, yes, I've done high school, I'm doing a university, I'm going to get a job full time, but I want to do more than that. I want to work. I've always been someone that I don't want to be fit within a box. Shout out to KSI. He always inspired me with that. But I want to do work in different lanes, work in different aspects, have 3-4 different businesses I'm working, for example.
I think the matrix. Okay, so what I would say to that is.
Tell me.
I think that.
Somebody's having a laugh behind us.
I think that about the matrix. I think that it's impossible for there to be a matrix. I get what you're saying. It's not like the matrix. It's like you're being pushed. It's societal standards that you're following.
Of course.
It's like a sheep type of mentality, conforming to society. I would say because society is something that is dynamic. It's constantly changing.
Yep.
The expectations of what is considered a matrix now, considered 200 years ago, are very different.
Of course.
So you're not so much trapped in a matrix, more so a product of your time.
Yes.
So
Very good
me in the 1420s working on a fucking rice farm, and that's my matrix. And that's not me being trapped in a matrix. That's just me being a member of society.
Yep.
And if you don't want to be a member of society, like that's just not a functional. I mean, you can, like there's communities that do that, but even being in a community that isn't a society, you're still, that isn't living in the mainstream society. You're still society, but you're in your new society.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
so like,
of course.
if I'm an anarchist and I want to live no rules, no whatever, and I just want to, be able to do whatever I want, that is your new matrix. Because now your matrix is, I only do whatever I want. And that's the new, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So it's constantly changing. So I think you're a product of your time is a better way to say it.
No, good point.
Because, it's constantly changing. 100 years from now, it's going to look very different for what we consider being in the matrix. It's not being in the matrix, it's being in what humans, it's just what humans use. We congregate to be around each other and to build things and to live, to have that social interaction. So, yeah.
Good. No, very good thoughts. Okay, so now I'm going to give you 3 words. Like these are like the touchstone words, and then I want you to give me your opinion on each one and how you want to, how you work within that word. Okay, that's all.
Could you do the first word and then I'll just see what you mean?
Okay, so first one I'm thinking is, let me see, manifestation.
Yep.
So how are you gonna manifest? And work on goals and stuff within this year? That's gonna make you dream big and hit those big aspects you want to hit in your life. So, for example, I'm going to continue to manifest about this podcast and know that, what it's worth and what I see myself.
I know what manifestation is, but what is manifestation to you? So when you say manifestation, what is that to you?
So I'm getting there, bro. I'm getting there. And so I just want to, like, I'm all about, that if you really want something, you can do it. So for me, I just keep having, like, I will have big thoughts and I can taste it, that I can do it, and you've got to come up with goals and stuff that's actually obviously achievable to you. And by manifesting, for me, I really see myself doing it. And then by manifesting and doing these and thinking about these goals, I go then try and do it to the best of my capability. And that's like something I want to continue to work on. And that's something I felt like I've started, well in my certain things this year, but I haven't even been through the first quarter. So that's something I would
argue, to bring it back to what we were just talking about.
Tell me.
So you seemed like you took pride in the fact that you're not in the matrix of society, which is understandable. I would argue that society at the moment is still like an American dream where you have goals and you want to achieve those goals.
For sure.
And that is what the American dream is, that you focus on something, you work really hard and you achieve it. I feel like manifestation is a product of the American dream, which is technically a product of the matrix.
It's good. It's a good thought, eh? It's a good thought, eh?
So,
look at you
to rebut what you said.
Look at me just getting fucking exposed real quick. Nah, I don't know. It just comes with the whole matrix thing. I think at the end of the day, matrix is it's a stupid fucking word.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but
I feel like product of the time was a.
I think you've done it better. The product time is fucking great.
Yeah.
But do you do a lot of manifestation?
I don't know. I'm all over the place. So I'm very indecisive. I'm overthink I think more than anyone. I think all the time. And
why would you say you do that?
I feel like I'm anxious.
Are you anxious about doing the certain thing? Or are you just anxious within yourself
about doing it? I'm anxious about not being successful. And it's like, so you second guess yourself? Yeah, all the time. And not just in work, in fucking everything, relationships, especially in relationships.
Oh, really?
It's more so me. I put my finger in everything. So like, I'll like make music for a stint, and then I'll write for a stint, and then I'll play basketball excessively for a stint, and then I just find a lot of different new things to do where I'll do it for really hard and burn out after a month, and then find something new to do.
Do you feel like you always have to do something? Do you feel like you get bored quickly of, like, let's say, I don't know, say you did music or something.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you get bored quickly and you like have to change up and do something else?
I think it's more so I'm not setting goals. I'm just doing it. I'm just chucking myself into
You're just
deep
living
water,
in the moment, yeah.
And then I'm like, I don't have a progression of what I want to do. So now I'm just fine. I guess, well, now I'm saying that out loud. It's like, that's clearly with me in every facet of my life.
You said with work, but how else do you feel like you do second think yourself?
I'm just constantly just like, I'll go into something like really heavy and then like not be sure of it, not be sure of myself, question like if I'm good enough to do it, or which is I guess just insecurities about things, but it's everything. But that's what I want to also work on this year. As I said, just being consistent in things. So I do jump into something, I make sure I see it through.
And what about when I say a word like trust? Well, not a word. This is more a phrase, but like trusting the process. Like
that's so important. That's like.
So how do you
trusting the
feel?
process is another word for consistency. Just like believing that it's just turning up every day and trusting that things are going to work out. But trusting the process doesn't work if you don't have an outlined process.
No, of course.
You know what I mean? You need to have those goals. You need to be setting those goals full circle.
For sure.
For
100%.
to have a process to even trust it in the first place.
And then last word I was thinking of is oh God. What about oh my God, hold up. I had it, just went.
I'll think of a word.
Let me think of something. Focus.
Focus. Well, that's a good one. Well, it's hard because what we first spoke about was that there's so many different aspects to like setting goals and dreams that you can very easily do too much in one area and neglect another area. So keeping that balanced and having a focus on all like, so I said, relationships, work, whatever else you want to chuck into that, you need to focus on keeping the balance between all those things, because if one gets heavy, the other loses. And keeping focus on it. But that's tough. I mean, there's sometimes in life that you need to focus on some things more because it's so far neglected compared to the other things.
Of course. And what do you say? We've spoken about your goals and things you want to work in yourself and that you want to work on in general. But how do you see yourself focusing on those certain goals this year?
It's just having respect for myself, having respect to complete things, and like if you don't have respect for yourself about doing those things, you're like, as Conor McGregor once said, he said the lack of like work you're putting into yourself is a disrespect to everyone that believes in you.
For sure. And
that's so true. It's and not having that respect for yourself to focus on those things is what makes me focus. Well, it's going to make me focus.
For sure.
But yeah, because you don't want to let others down, but above all, you don't want to let yourself down. Because it's not a nice feeling.
For sure. And I've just sort of one more we can add to it about respect.
Yeah, as I said just then, like having respect for. I feel like in terms of goal setting, having respect for yourself is just monumental, because if you don't, just what I just said.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And let me see. That's pretty much all that stuff, but what we can talk about, so what this podcast was really meant to be, we can blame Isaac for not being here. This was meant to be the box episode 2, but he didn't want to show up, so unlucky mate. So let's talk a little bit about boxing. So you said obviously for yourself that it's something that's like soothing and mental health wise.
Not so much boxing, it's more so martial arts in general.
Martial arts in general. Yeah. But what about? Well, guys, this is not a full. We'll just talk about a couple. I'm gonna give you a couple. I'm gonna give you a few couple points. I'm gonna go on the Word doc and everything for you, and I'm gonna give you a couple points. And just give me your opinion. We'll quickly to discuss those, a couple of those, and then we will go into. We'll finish up pretty much.
Can I say one thing before we get into?
Of course, you can.
All right, let's go. All facets of life, say relationships, work, whatever. Top 3 goals.
Okay, that's a great point. Look at this, you're fucking carrying this as much as I am today.
Yeah.
So,
You
okay.
go first, I didn't think.
You're good, man. Okay, so let's see, top 3. You said top 3 facets of like
So it could be any,
top
all,
3
all
goals
facets, all mediums of life.
and then just my top 3 goals
All
for
up. Yeah.
this year or just in general.
In general. 'Cause,
Okay.
yeah.
So definitely, as I said, number 1 in life is just to it's definitely say keep my shape. Like I've lost all this weight and I've got a lot more physically fit. I want to have a really good positive and healthy lifestyle and continue that the way I have been and grow on it. That's definitely number 1. The second one is to hold myself accountable about my actions and about my work rate and about my fitness. So accountability, healthy lifestyle, and then final one is to make sure I continue to be their fathers and inspire. Yeah, they're the big 3, and those obviously all go in within each little goal that I've named in specifically. So, what about yourself?
I like it. I think number 1, I just want to be like a good person. I feel like sometimes I'm
It's
not
the
sure
most
of
important
myself.
one.
I know you said before that you feel like I'm a good person, but I mean, I don't feel like I'm a bad person.
Yeah, you're not.
But yeah, I feel like I just want to be consistently, like have consistent morals, and to not waver on those, and to not be hypocritical, and because I feel like if you do that, other things will just fall into place. It's good karma.
For sure.
Secondly, I would say for career-wise, I really want to do well in my subjects for uni. Cement myself in doing that. Find out what I want to do specifically.
Of course.
And also to mirror that, to find out specifically what my goals are for like sport-wise, like what I want out of that. Like a side note is just like I'm trying to figure out if I want to get into MMA. And really focus on that, or I got that John Jones build, mate.
Hey, I want to say
Lanky, mate.
What division would you go
on? Probably middleweight.
Middleweight. So what's that one? Well, I don't know. It's 185. I don't know what it is in kgs, but
It's like 85 kilos.
85. So do you have
85 kilos.
What do you weigh at the moment?
Or maybe a bit less. About 80.
80. So you'd put on. Wouldn't go down to like what's
Oh, mate, what's below middleweight?
water weight?
Welterweight.
What's that? That's 170. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd probably be welterweight. But
Yeah.
you got like Yolmo. You got fucking Usman's in welterweight.
Yeah, Usman and fucking Leon Edwards were fucking big,
fucking
bro.
not Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
I don't even say. I got him.
Mate,
Headshot, bang,
but
dead.
fucking, he's mad. I love that. I actually kind of we'll get into it in a bit, but
my third goal, if I do choose to play basketball,
yeah.
you can hear it right here first. You get the exclusive.
Here we go.
All-Star 5, or Youth League Division 2.
Okay, I like it. Okay, here's my number 1 goal is to beat Camden Valley and drop 30 on Ruben and Hayden's head.
If Sam beats Camden Valley Wildfire, I will come back on the podcast, talk about whatever he wants, and wear whatever outfit. I will wear whatever outfit he tells me to wear.
They're just more talent. Like I hate to say this, but it's like of what I've heard and what I've seen. It's just the talent levels are just different.
We picked up the number 1, or second leading scorer in Youth League.
Oh wow!
Tristan Glenn from Mossvale.
And we have a bunch of rookies.
Yeah,
most of our team are rookies.
Mate, St. George players, you gonna hear the slander from your own teammate?
No, it's not an offense. Nah, they're my guys. I'm actually. I'll tell you what. I think if we play the right way, and I think within that point, it can be somewhat competitive. I'm not saying how competitive it will be.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think it will compete, but like our biggest problem is we still need to know our roles, which is coming, and I don't know. I think we can do well because we have we have a lot of trust for each other. You know, there's always certain guys in every team where there's attitudes, and so I'm not naming names, but some people can guess who those people are.
Yeah. So what is the MMA?
So let's go into a little bit of the box. So obviously, as I said, this was meant to be a box episode, but that's all right. Fuck you, Isaac.
Yeah.
Nah, I love that guy. But so we're quickly gonna go on a couple things. So first one, and this is just stuff happening before the box, because this box will be next box, so I'll probably film within the month. I'll make sure that happens, but especially during let's talk about things coming over the next couple of weeks.
We could always talk about who we think our most mentally tough fighters are.
Facts.
So we can relate to.
Love
this
it.
episode.
Look at you go, mate. So firstly,
Or someone who inspires you the most in martial arts.
okay, I like it.
You wanna go first?
Yeah. Let's go. Okay, someone that I've definitely looked at a lot at the moment. I gotta say, I really. So as I've mentioned, I feel like I've definitely mentioned this on the podcast. I'm a big John Jones fan, but I do not look at him in that aspect because he's a shit kind of a human being. But he's a great fighter. He's probably the greatest ever. MMA wise,
I would say greatest ever. Yeah.
To be fair, he's definitely the greatest ever. I looked at someone like Leon Edwards, and I learned about his story. I didn't know who the hell he was until he won the title. I'm not gonna lie to you. But then watching videos, learning about his story, he's like, the dude went from being, I think he's Nigerian, if I'm correct. He's African. I'm not trying to be racist. I think he's Nigerian. Yeah, this is not racist, but no, he's not. He's Jamaican.
Jamaican, yes.
He's not even African. So he's Jamaican. My bad, guys.
Yeah.
So he's Jamaican, and I was hearing about his story, how he was stabbed as a kid, and
it's crazy.
Yeah, and all this shit happened to him, and then these family went to England and I think he lived in London for a little bit, if I'm correct, and then moved down to Manchester. Birmingham, sorry. He moved down to Birmingham, and how he's just from nothing, and he just had to grind, and then to finally make the UFC, and then he finally makes it, and he continually just wouldn't get a title shot. And he was beating everyone apart from Usman, which was a close decision.
Well, he was locked out during COVID.
And he got locked out.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and then he didn't fight for 2 years. Yeah, I remember he fought Masvidal, and then I don't think he fought again until after. Not Masvidal. Sorry, Diaz. I'm tripping balls. He fought Diaz. I remember watching that, and it was the main event. And then he didn't fight. I don't think he fought anybody until he fought Usman. Mm-hmm. And then you looked at that again. He was down 4-0. We can all agree. 4-0 until he landed the head kick of his fucking life. And it was beautifully placed and strategic. But when you look at motivation, you look at the dudes the guys continued to be doubted. He's still doubted right now as being a champion. Everybody's still hating it. And if we looked at the bookmakers, everybody's going to have Usman winning. But
I would say
I want him to win more because he's a fighter. He's the definition of a fighter. Someone that just doesn't give up and continues to go at it. But
I would say, actually, if you look at the last few events, to tie it back to what we're talking about today,
for sure,
is that about trusting the process. Is the two biggest fights of the year have been Adesanya, Pereira, and Usman Edwards, and those are both fights where people were down and out. They would 100% lost the fight.
Exactly.
And they didn't give up. And
for sure.
So they were consistent in themselves, and they had respect for themselves. Man, I'm tying all these fucking words together.
They are, bro. You're fucking killing it.
They had respect for themselves, and they trusted in themselves to stay at it. It's very easy. Even the commentators which I do think he a little bit mentally checked out, but just staying locked in. You don't know what opportunity is going to present itself.
And again, I'll tie this back to the yes men thing. Yeah. You looked at. I'm hoping you saw his coaches.
Oh yeah, just
Edwards
pull it from the fucking fire.
Exactly. And then he went out there, and again he fucking set that kick up, and the dude didn't wake up.
Yeah, that was cold, bro.
It was a very cold, bro.
But yeah, 100%. Same with Pereira. He was down, did not give up, was relentless.
I would say it wasn't as it was much closer. I'd say
take 3-1.
It was a closer 3-1 compared to it was.
Well, to the fact that Pereira almost got knocked out at the end of the first round.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
And he still definitely lost the first round.
Yeah, for sure.
Dominated in the first round actually, and then the fact that he brought it back.
Yeah, bro, he was
going to lose the fight.
Oh yeah. Me and my mate Hassan were watching it. We went to these basketball trials, and then after we went to watch it, and we were like, it was the only fight left. We were like, please don't miss it. And then we're like, I'm a big Adesanya fan as well. I love Adesanya, and he loves Adesanya as well. And we're fucking going at it, and we're cheering. We're like, come on, let's do this. And then we saw it happening. He goes in that fifth round. We see it the first shot, and we're like, oh fuck.
It's almost like the fact it happened already, where Adesanya in kickboxing dominated. And he got knocked the exact same way.
The exact same way, bro. He's 0-3 against the dude now.
I'm excited for the next one.
I'm as well, and I hope he wins. But in the back of my head, I hate to say this, but I see Adesanya winning. But in the back of my head, Pereira
Yeah.
His left hand, his hook was.
Yeah.
He's got quick hooks, bro. But
You can't count him out.
you can't.
Because he doesn't count himself out.
He doesn't. But then you look, and then look at these motivation fights. You look at someone like Islam as well, who
Yeah, exactly.
was, he again.
Ngannou came from nothing, fucking working mines and shit.
Exactly, and Islam, who didn't get it. He also another guy that just didn't get the title chance for a title shot. Look how long it took him to get a title shot.
Exactly. I would say actually another perfect example to type like we were talking before is that all these people had subpar upbringings,
Yeah,
but they still turned out through hard, like they didn't use that as an excuse. Like people might have like issues with their parents growing up, or as we were saying before, like you have all these issues, and you end up to being a cunt, and it's not an excuse to be a dickhead.
absolutely.
But you've got to kind of look at that and be like, that's shit that's happened. I've got to learn from what's happened, but I've still got to keep pushing.
For sure.
So they've all had shit upbringings, but they still like didn't give up,
Oh, yeah.
and they were consistent.
For sure. And you look at a lot of the UFC is a
Most successful people.
and he as I said, dude, keeping this MMA wise, you look at all the champions, you can go through most of them and be like,
Yeah.
that he's been through something. Like you look at Volkanovski, for example. He was a footy player, didn't make it.
Yeah.
He went and became a national champion wrestler, and then became the best fighter. He's the best fighter in the world at the
Pound for
moment.
pound.
He's the best fighter in the world, no doubt. And he's counted out again.
Yeah.
So we'll see on 284
So,
what
yeah,
happens.
the fight's next weekend. So
It is.
my prediction, real quick, because we're not going to have a box.
Please, I know. So let's quickly go on that. So tell me, let's talk about firstly. Even before we get into that, how do you feel about the Oh my God, what's his regular weight? It's he's featherweight, right?
Who?
Bantam. No, he's
Who are you talking about?
Fuck me. No, he's feather. Volkanovski. He's
Yeah.
featherweight, right?
Yeah.
Feather. How do you feel about them doing the interim featherweight title?
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I feel like it's disrespectful. He's pound for pound. Well, clearly they've had a conversation about how long does he want to be out. So potentially maybe he.
Unless he's gonna be out for another like 6 months, but I don't see that with him.
Yeah. But it just makes it more interesting, I guess. But yeah, I don't agree with it.
Who was it? It's the bald dude. What's his name?
Yeah,
Emmett or
yeah,
some
yeah,
shit.
Emmett.
And then
the guy looks like he's like a wife beater.
yeah. No, I've no like. It's just I think it's too early. It's not like fucking Ngannou who set out for a year.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely just to make it interesting because I guess the division's stagnant, and like
Yeah.
no one called him out. Like I don't think anyone wants to fight Volk in that division.
I don't see anybody. The Holloway was his best chance, but he's
Yeah,
beat him.
3
He's
times.
2
2
times
times,
convincingly,
yeah.
and then 1 time iffy.
Yeah. But yeah, so my prediction.
Yes,
for
tell me.
Volk is definitely I'm going Volk. I feel like Volk's gonna knock him out.
Yeah.
Not knock him out, but knock him down. Knock him down or decision. He's not gonna drag him out.
No, no chance.
Bro, do you remember the Volkanovski Ortega fight
Yes.
where he got almost choked out twice? Volk, and he escaped both times last second.
The
I was so
fucking-
convinced that he had lost those fights.
His fucking weapon, and then
Slippery man.
he threw 200 strikes,
yeah, it was
significant
crazy.
strikes or
Yeah.
some shit.
It's crazy.
No, I see Volk winning. Yeah, TKO probably. I'm gonna say third round.
I'd go second round.
Second or third. Like I don't see him. I feel like it's gonna the first round. I think they'll test. It'll be a pretty boring first round.
Yeah.
Test it out. Second round, he'll start, and then he just got his biggest thing is that Islam's still he's so great with jiu-jitsu and wrestling. So
I think
it's
people
gonna
underappreciating how good Volk is.
be, Volk is as well. He's
Yeah.
a national champion wrestler.
Yeah.
Even Islam said that, and then Errol Hawani said something. He's like he's actually a national champion
Yeah.
wrestler, and so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, no, it'll be a very interesting fight. And then my fight I'm most excited for 285 March 4th in Vegas, I believe.
Yeah. T-Mobile Arena, I think.
The heavyweight title again.
John
Bones Jones making his long anticipated return to the octagon.
I'm most excited for the ring walk.
And then Cyril Gahn, I heard
Speaking of Homelander, have you seen
that's
the Homelander one?
yes. I'm hoping you're gonna say that. So a
Yeah.
lot of people reckons that's gonna be.
It'll be like either I'm coming home or like the champ is here or like.
The champ. He's done that
Have you
before.
seen Puss in Boots the 2?
No.
There's like a whistle like that I've seen all over TikTok and it's like a death whistle.
Oh really?
And I would thought that'd be sick.
If they did if they did On Time,
Yeah.
I love that. I really like that song, as well. But like it would be sick.
I'm
It'd be
excited.
sick.
Yeah.
It'd
Anyway.
be sick. So how do you Cyril Gahn, like no disrespect, great opponent, is probably behind Ngannou and hopefully John Jones is probably the third best heavyweight fighter in the world.
I think he's the best.
Okay.
I think John Jones is gonna embarrass.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll quickly tell you why I think John Jones is gonna win.
I just said no, John Jones is gonna embarrass.
He's going to embarrass.
Embarrass. Go on.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying John Jones is the best heavyweight.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I just wasn't. Gun's the second. He's probably he's number one contender behind Jones.
Yeah.
But I think Gun he's a great dude and he's great and he's so quick. Like if you've watched the Tai Tuivasa fight, and
exactly.
he's a weapon. And Tai Tuivasa is a bad man.
He is.
But again, he's like.
How about that Russian dude in heavyweight, bro?
Bro, he's next
scary,
up, bro,
bro.
because he Spivak or some shit. I want to say.
He's a scary bloke.
Yeah, he rocked Tai. He really did. I love Tai Tuivasa, whatever Australian.
And Ty's taken some shots, but
he takes some
just
shots.
put Ty down.
Bro, he dropped that, and Ty's dropped Brunson. Not Brunson, sorry, Lewis.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The Gun fight was interesting until he got hit with that shot.
Yeah,
and he hit him with a good shot. So Gun can be rocked.
Exactly.
But he's quick. But he's never fought him.
Yeah.
John Jones, at the end of the day, he's a light. He's has the longest reach in UFC history behind Steven Struve, which was like 7 foot. So it's different. But he's got 84 inch reach. So it's just like he's longer than fucking it's like a couple inches longer, I think, and it's going to be a very interesting fight. But I just don't see Gun staying there within.
I'm going John Jones first round decapitation.
I gotta say second. I don't feel like it's gonna be second. I think John will knock him out straight away. But like I want it to. I really say I would love it to be like a 4-round fight.
Realistically, I think it's gonna be like 4th round submission.
Yes, like that. It'll probably be submission. Like I'm really interested if Gun's working his grappling because it was horrible against Ngannou. And everybody
There's only so much time.
But like, bro, that was like, how long ago was that? Was it 6 months ago? 7 months ago? Something like that.
Do you want to touch on really quickly before we end? Tommy Fury, Jake Paul.
Oh, yep, good one. Because that is. Oh, I think we'll definitely.
Well, just first thoughts.
We can talk about.
Do you think Tommy Fury will pull out before the next podcast?
I really didn't think so.
No. Did you see the backup fighter?
Yeah, Mike Perry, which would be interesting because Mike Perry is a fucking
G, bro.
He's a funny dude.
Monster.
He is a crazy dude he was a crazy dude in the octagon.
Yeah.
I really didn't think he would until I saw some things the other day, and I was just like, I hope to fucking God he doesn't, because I really wanted. To be honest, I hate Jake Paul because I'm a big KSI fan, but I don't see Tommy Fury beating him. It'll be a close fight. I don't see Jake knocking him out, but I'm looking at videos of fucking Tommy Fury's highlights like that. He's just a novice. He's got great form for a novice boxer, but he's just a novice boxer. He's fought nobodies. Fucking Jake Paul's fought better people than him. I hate to say that, but he has.
I feel like Tommy Fury is more. He's a great boxer, but he's not like a fighter. Like he doesn't like. But I think
And he hasn't been hit by anything.
Yeah,
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Tommy Fury has never been hit by anything.
I low key. So there's two things here that I either want Jake Paul to win to progress like the sport and influence side of things, but I kind of want him to lose so people give KSI more of a chance.
Yeah.
Because if Jake Paul goes out and puts on like a fucking amazing performance, and everyone's gonna say like KSI's gonna get smacked.
Everybody we can.
Even though I want KSI to win, and I think KSI's gonna win.
I still think, and this is obviously it's always.
I'm completely biased.
Yeah, me. I'm biased as well, but like I just from what I've seen, like KSI, I think off that Tommy Fury, the temper knockout. Obviously, it's face temper, and face temper was going to get knocked out either way within that first round.
I thought it'd be more competitive. Like, he actually shocked me. I thought it was going to go like a few rounds.
Yeah, I thought it maybe a few rounds. I thought first or second, to be honest.
KSI was better than I thought he would be.
Yeah, I thought that shot again. Like Jake Paul's man, he's done some great shots, but the speed of that KSI knockout was ridiculous. I didn't see. I saw the. Was it? Hold up, no. It was the. What are you doing again? It was the right. Did he go right? He went.
He was in a orthodox stance, and then he came right.
Right, and then he went the hook. So, when he made that first slide hand, I was like, oh, okay, that might push him back. But then he came so quick with the left.
Pause.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think that it's very. Yeah, I think he's dangerous as well because he switches his stances so quickly and so fluently.
And Jake's a great traditional boxer.
Yeah.
not great. He's like, at the end of the day, can't discount Jake. Jake is a good 7-0 pro boxer. Like, you can't even talk shit. I hate Jake Paul, but you can't, because he's proved he's beat fucking UFC greats. He knocked down fucking Anderson Silva. I know he's 48 years old, but he still knocked him down. Fucking Tommy Fury hasn't done anything close to that. And unfortunately, KSI has beaten Scrubs. He has, but he's done the levels. I feel like KSI would knock out every opponent that Jake Paul's beaten. Maybe not Anderson Silva, but like the rest of them.
I feel like the style for Jake Paul, for KSI, he'd actually would have lost to Anderson Silva, but I think KSI would beat Jake Paul. But it's just different fighters.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and I don't know.
Anyway,
that's about it. But no, we'll do this is a little guess thing. So this question the last guest asks, and then you ask a question for the next guest. So my brother asked, I'm trying to remember, who do you see motivation from? Like, who people you look up for when you look at motivation and try to motivate yourself?
My top two, generic, basic, I say it every time.
Yeah.
But Damian Lillard and Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
I feel like they're both kind of exude the same type of calm, but like calm in like they'd be a hurricane, but they're just like ready to kill. Like they're
For sure.
they're all the craziness around them in the world, it doesn't matter. They're ready to go.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
they're only ready to go because they know they've put in the hours. They have that. It's not just blind confidence. It's confidence in yourself because you know that you have been there or you've done it before.
For sure.
And like just discipline, and like, because that's that number one thing, just being disciplined, like consistent discipline, kind of same thing. It doesn't matter how much motivation you have if you're disciplined and you're there every day. And that's kind of what I've gained from them.
For sure. And what's a question you want to ask the next week's guest? Can be absolutely anything.
Anything?
Yep, can be anything.
Okay. What experience in their life do you think shapes them the most, and why?
Yeah, I like that. That's nice. That's a good one. That is pretty much about it. So
no success. A little better, a little less controversial than the last time.
Yeah. So if you remember this guy, and he's open bottom shirt and his glasses on, but he's a
which changed man from.
He is a changed man.
He's a lot different.
He is. And I hope everybody I'm not saying. I hope you picked up on something, and and maybe something you realized about yourself, or something that you can work on, or at the end of the day, I'm just trying to inspire and tell stories and just chat with mates. And this is what I want to talk about. But this is episode 36 of the Reupload podcast. If you're listening to the audio of go listen to the audio, and this is on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasting service, so Spotify, pretty much everybody. And if you're watching the video, we do have this button you can click. It's called subscribe. So if you could do that, that'd be fucking amazing. And that's about it.
And
so
Hayden Thomlinson on Instagram.
Yeah, please. All his accounts will be linked. And please follow up and let me know who you want on next year. That's pretty much about it. I am Sam Fraser, and this is the Reupload podcast, episode 36. We are out.
I'm now.
Yeah.